Task Force Ripper, Marine Corps versus Iraq. As the 1st US Marine Corps Division pressed forward into the rear areas of the Iraqi Army, resistance began to stiffen. The division was divided into several task forces, each assigned a different objective. Task Force Ripper, consisting of the 1st Battalion and 7th Regiment and the 3rd Marine Tank Battalion, was to capture Jaber Airbase. Defending the base were the remains of 4 Iraqi divisions with armor support from the 5th Tank Brigade. Yeah, we're playing with Marine Corps. Well turned, so we actually had to make some moves this time. Still, that's plenty of time. We have this is an old tank, the M60, but it seems like it's a massively upgraded version, A3 TTS pattern. So this could still be a very good tank. We have a massive amount of support. Next page. Right, we have probably double to triple the typical amount of out-of-map artillery, then 8 mortars on top of that. So if we basically spot a target, we can bury it in artillery immediately. Visibility. Okay, what exactly are these tanks? We also have Dragon Team. I think that's anti-tank unit. What is SMAW team? I don't know. It's an anti-tank weapon with short range. Dragon should be a little bit different. Right, it's an anti-tank missile. It's basically the same team. The same weapon it has. 4 warheads that are fairly short range. Yeah, I'm not familiar with this weapon. It's odd because it's an anti-tank team, but the range is pitiful. Usually, even the infantry squads have equivalent or better anti-tank weapons. So I'd really like to know what this SMAV actually is. Is there something special about it I should know? Otherwise, I don't really see why it even exists, really. Usually there's a very, very good reason it exists. I also need to see what a rifle squad actually has. Very likely a huge amount of men. Yeah, 13 men. Has an anti-tank rifle, light support weapon, a grenade launcher, and an anti-tank launcher. Light anti-tank weapon. We're not gonna move any of. Yeah, I need to see the tanks. They're respectable. The armoring is pathetic compared to the tanks of this era. A lot of anti-tank rounds, 13 anti-infantry rounds, a lot of passengers. Uh, these are just fine. They're not excellent. They're perfectly fine. Now there comes the question: how the hell am I going to lure the enemy to actually make some moves? They're in dug-in positions, so we can fire with very little delay on these sections. Should we go for smoke? I'm just looking at the sections the automatic fire has selected, and this doesn't really make much sense to fire in all these locations with unless we are going to fire. No. What the fuck are these? Cluster munitions. Cluster munitions would be somewhat effective in the area. Plus, they might leave a mine behind. I think. For fuck's sakes. Can I see the ammunition? 18 high explosive, 18 armor piercing, 8 smoke. I'm assuming the armor piercing is in the cluster munitions. Oh no. Let's not do any of this now. Yeah, we're losing the artillery by doing this. However, I want to move something, see if we get some kind of a reaction. How much do we even see? Quite a lot. Yeah, I definitely. We only have really tanks. Now, what the hell are these? These are worthless. They're basically a jeep with a anti-tank warhead attached to it. T-62s. And it's dead. T-62Ms. Yeah, their weapon might be fine, but they are not a match for our tanks. I'm assuming there's infantry ambushing us here. Maybe. No? Right. Just trying to think if do we have a better place to start calling artillery from. Yeah, we at range of 55, we have more than 50% chance of hitting them. So they're basically dead the moment we see them. Yeah, this is pretty much the typical fight that I'm expecting against Russian tanks. We have 5 shots. Yeah, 64%. Jesus Christ. Okay. We definitely don't want smoke because of the huge advantage we have if we spot them first. I think we want to more or less secure or turn to rubble certain buildings close to the flags. Not sure if we should fire cluster munitions. I'm leaning toward against it though. Because if it actually does leave mines, as I think it will, it could be a big problem for me. What I need to do is basically flush them out of their close by buildings, so I'm going to have an easier time getting rid of the pushing through there. I would say, okay, there's probably units here, there. Infantry spread out here and there. Yeah, who the hell knows? Just shoot at something. Not sure what to do with the mortars, because I don't want smoke. I suppose I could just waste them on the infantry we already see. The mortars are also annoyingly enough spread all over the place, so I can't easily use them. I'm sure they had a different type of intention of how to use them, but I'll take this. These are terribly inaccurate at these distances though. Right, pretty much at the edge of our firing range. Yeah, I'll put the rest firing on some structures or something. Just to get them to do things. Right. Okay. These guys will never reach any targets. They're too far away from anything. Tanks are already filled with troops, so can't really use those either. Engineers. Effective combat range 10. More Humvees. How many of tanks do we want to move? Right. We don't well I'd like to say we don't have any hurry here. We sort of do. Where the hell did that shot come from? You. So there's a slight angle somewhere here. Yeah. Not much of a fight. Shit. Front full hit. Excellent. Excellent that they actually got a hit. Almost lost a command unit there. Okay, where are they? They're pretty much boned though. Right, that sort of highlights another point though. We can't really just rush in with everything. There's clearly a lot of tanks that are just waiting to fire at us. So I'm going to go with more or less a 50-50 split. Half of the team rushes forward, a couple of stay behind and now for fire support. On the other hand, we do have a lot of tanks, so even half team waiting behind has a lot of tanks waiting. Right, exactly a huge amount of counterfire. We hit some vehicle here with our bombardment, I'm fairly certain about that. Yeah, our 60mm mortar doesn't even have the range to offer fire support. That's pretty pathetic. Still, let's start with the basics. These guys will probably never see action, but they're an easy move to make, and if they happen to spot something, mortars need to move forward. They're just not going to be able to otherwise contribute anything useful. The 80mm mortars are too slow, really. They don't matter. I suppose they could have minefields that would be troublesome. Okay, Humvees were first. Least useful unit we can probably have. No reactions. It'll become a problem if we go too close to the town though, because they're going to be able to fire at us at weird angles that make it impossible for anyone to really offer support, even if an enemy could detect us. Yeah, I think I'm gonna move forward at full speed. We have a decent amount of shots even then, and I expected a lot more firing at us at the start, but nothing. Might need to dump some infantry out. If we have engineers, there's probably a good... since we have, rather, engineers, there's probably a good reason why we've been given them. Why do I even see them? Artillery must have driven them off. Should we think of another reason? Just want to cause some casualties then. Don't really care about anything else. I'll leave the command unit doing nothing. Yeah, even with us moving at full speed, we're still hitting them. The thing is, if we get too close, they'll hit us. That's the big problem, because our armor is definitely, our armor is probably same or weaker than they have. They're 62 T-62s though. They should have something better. I mean, if this was a Soviet army we were facing, they would have something newer. So the T-62s probably aren't that great. Alright. I think I want to shift things around a bit. Looks like we're looking more or less like there's an entire platoon of tanks holed up next to each other. So if we find something somewhere, there's a good chance there's quite a lot of other units right next to them. Maybe not. There's definitely APCs here, but who the hell cares about them? Right. I'll take any target I can fire at with the mortars. These guys are never gonna see any. Maybe I was supposed to shove them in some kind of vehicle. Okay, these first. Maybe I shouldn't treat them like this. We destroyed the recoils. There's probably an infantry squad of some sort near that. Still, hold the hell knows. There we go. And the problem with using these is specifically the one that they're just jeeps. So anything firing on them will destroy them, but if we would use tanks, they would have to be a very precise and lucky hit from a Soviet tank, otherwise we would survive. So Would be some benefit in using a little bit heavier unit to do this. Yeah, the recoil is especially bad. Points. Very immobilized, more or less. Lost a lot of infantry. Well, at least we know now. We're expecting this for some time. So, everyone out. Must have driven all these out of from their little dug-in holes. The artillery has done its work, definitely. Engineers! I don't want to bring any tanks there until I see the situation a little bit more accurately. But since we have the engineers here... yeah, we'll see. More engineers. Right, the tank is full of engineers. All engineers to the front line. Just rifle squad. Let's change our angle a little bit. But everyone has to go through here. At the same time, if we're gonna clear the minefield there, we might as well go through it. It's the only safe place we can use at that point. At least we just see the situation now again. Strela team. So anti-air units, even though we don't have any. Which makes perfect sense, I suppose. They would have to prepare themselves against helicopters. Earthen bunker. Well, I have to say I was not expecting earthen bunkers. Surprised me there again. Actually tougher to hit than the tanks. There are 2 squads of units in this hex. Yeah. Hit a ricochet of something. So yeah. What is it? APC. Well, that makes sense. Also explains why these look like they're sitting in the middle of nowhere like idiots. They're not. They're next to the APC that brought them there or was stuck in there. Ah, shit. That's another infantry squad that definitely has some other unit in the same hex. You can see it. They're slightly misaligned from the center. Not sure if that's considered cheating, knowing that. Or, well, I'm not sure if cheating is exactly the correct word, but is that sort of information probably shouldn't be available just by looking at them. At the same time, I'm not sure if it's all that big of a deal. Because the moment I saw that it was sort of done with the one unit, I was suspecting it's gonna be happening with the others too. There's a big difference between suspecting something and knowing it, obviously. Right, so we could push forward, but first things first. Mines. Okay. 99% chance of hitting. Yeah. I'm going to take out the other APC. Pretty dangerous to move in infantry here when the APCs and God knows what are constantly firing on you. But we know there's another unit similar there, so same time there's so many mines about, I'm not too eager to try to rush in there. Did I move the Humvees already? Yep. I'm sort of inclined to not to move them though. Casualty rates will be massive if I do that. However, we also know that there's clearly a situation here. There's an APC on this text. I can't see it. Could an infantry unit see it? There's probably another unit there too. Maybe even another after that. There's certainly infantry unit that has escaped there. I'll save my shots. He'll have to move or do something, and the moment he does, he's dead. Yeah, this is pretty much in a perfect position to take them out immediately, no matter what happens. What about you? We could also stumble upon some mines. More engineers. I think we're more or less safe. We're mostly facing crew here. Also, there aren't enough mines, so we won't spend time disarming them. More or less, once if we spend a single turn there, the mines are gone. I'll go through here. We might be able to go around things, but there's the bots. Might not really work out for us all that well. Don't want to lose tanks to mines if we can obviously use a point where we can just bypass them. I'm not that worried about what the enemy can throw my way after all. Alright, what we want here is to have another tank platoon moving through the southern sections. Yeah, if we can really reveal anything here, we can pretty much take it out immediately. Strela team is pretty much wholly unable to even theoretically do anything to us. I suppose it has infantry weapon, but can't see that being useful. This is gonna attract a lot of artillery soon, so we don't particularly want to be here. Or are immobile, so shoot whatever you can, doesn't matter how worthless of a target is. I think I'll hold still with these. Should be having new enemies popping up. A lot of vehicle hitting sounds when we bombarded this. I'm thinking of maybe shoving it full of cluster ammunition. Not sure if that works in our favor though. Especially not the flags themselves. I think I'll just bombard the same locations with normal fire. It'll impair visibility drastically, but that's the worst it'll do. No. No, I won't. I'll fire in a little bit of a different area. Someone's going to have to go in there and just take a look what the hell is happening here. Do you even see the crew? Still can't see. Oh, at least we can see something. That's not enough. We know there's more there. There we go. I'm sort of tempted to use this guy, but the enemy might actually be able to destroy us, so... No. I can't fire on anything important. Not sure I want to get focused on these mines. I suppose someone has to get rid of them. I'm hoping slaughtering the crews will basically make things easier for us later on. Ooh, that's another bunker. We're probably better off just using a tank to get rid of it. Another bunker. I prefer a tank. They're basically retreating anyway because their planes have been destroyed nearby. Has no weapons that harm us really. Smoke will act as cover. Right. Not bad. Not bad at all. You shoot at the earthen bunker. Yes. Probably not the best unit to fire at it, but yeah, who cares? We're way too accurate to give a shit about that. We want to rush in with tanks though. There's a lot of artillery dropping on the next turn. Maybe we want to show our face, so go there. Don't want to push forward too aggressively at the moment. RPG-17 has to be taken care of though. I don't see them really being able to offer all that much steep resistance here. They have too many casualties on a constant basis. So they would basically need constant successes on the rallying front to be able to just hold on to their current holdings. More likely they're going to be losing constantly. There's nothing for us to really fire on. So I don't have to waste my tank shots on fleeing infantry. 7 targets. Anything remotely interesting? No, there's probably a platoon of tanks at the very least there, so we'll have to be somewhat careful. Very likely this is filled with some sort of units too, which means I'm actually dumping all infantry now. I could be wrong. Problem is, there's really no downside to just dumping the infantry anyway. We could use extra spotters. Right. US Marine Corps. Don't want this crew spotting us. Most of them are so routed that I don't think that's really a problem. I'll just seek new angles of firing. I probably can't fire on anything useful from this position anymore. What about you? It's not the same issue with these guys. Hello, friend. Humvee did its job. Don't want to really move further. I have to switch to artillery locations after this. Still, we're still hitting some armor there. We destroyed an APC. Right, this is one of those missions against where what chance do they have? It's pretty much an army-wide rout at this point. I also don't see why I just shouldn't let the artillery land there. I suppose I could shift it here. Mainly because we are getting a little bit too close for comfort. Don't have to be shifted all that much, but just a little bit. We should be doing similar shifts pretty much on every turn now. If there are dug-in troops here, we most likely bombarded them out of their little hidey holes already. Right, what do you see? A Strela team. Fleeing crew. Indian infantry. Marine Corps. Someone has to go in there and spot things. Thank you for spotting things. You can at least see 5 targets, not sure if they're valuable targets. Other infantry squad destroyed. Another squad destroyed. Yeah, this is gonna be very costly for them. Ooh, we have an intelligent target firearm. It's there's something in the hex with it. Urban bunker. Same here, something's in the hex with it. The unit graphics go over the line and get to go into the area of the surrounding hex. So there's 2 units there trying to be on top of each other. We will never hit this. Earthen bunker, BTR, infantry. Oh crap. I need infantry suppression if I can get. Suppose I could suppress the bunker too. Not sure how effective this would even be. Live and learn, I guess. Not very effective. Dragon team. That's a lot of anti-infantry weapons, so it seems like a weird choice to do using a tank to try to get through this. I mean, using infantry. Hello, my friends. The APC is probably an easier target. Well, fairly easy targets either way. Nice. I'm sort of trying to get someone to spot these. We know that there's something there. What the hell is it? Another BTR. They can't survive these casualties. Rather, their overall army morale cannot possibly survive them. Effective fighting range is 10. We have infantry within that area. Yes. Still can't see what their who their friend is there. At least I drove away the infantry or suppressed them to the point that I don't really care about them. So that's all. The total pointless infantry squads are advancing in the desert. No point firing. Okay. More spotters needed. More engineers needed. We might just have to drive tanks up to those areas we suspect have enemy presence. If it was something like what are these, 62s? It would have fired already. This is good. This is very, very good. Accuracy is terrible. P55 rebuild. Also, I'm not gonna fire on the command unit. There's very likely 4 tanks here. I just can't see them yet. I'm not looking forward to using the lead tank here to reveal them though. Hello there. Got a tank. This is the problem with this type of fighting. We have a huge advantage at range. We have no advantage at close range. Or rather, Russian tanks' weaponry are not the problem, it's just the accuracy. If they have the accuracy on their side, then we're almost boned at this point. I forgot that they do the assault thing. So as it is then. Slight alteration in the angle of fire always helps. Little front turret hits, not exactly great ones. It's retreating at the very least. Probably something worse actually. Ten targets. That's a lot of targets. Getting this tank is important to me, not because it's a threat, but because if I can get it, any tank in this area is basically worthless for the next turn. So the 4th tank that is very likely here somewhere is not going to be a threat to me. I have to dive in there. Where is the artillery coming? More or less okay where it's firing now. We'll definitely have to do changes to it. Don't want to waste my shots with this guy. There's basically infantry we could fire at, but that's it. And there's a decent chance we get close quarter fighting with other tanks. So yeah, I'd like to save my shots for now. Something has to happen here though, so I don't want to move all the tanks. Right, we want to get rid of that one no matter what. It's not strictly speaking a threat, but then there's the bot. Right, we need to do something about things there. Just can't see it. There we go. One retreating unit. Still expecting another though. Here. 30% accuracy. We're gonna still probably take it down. And if there is a unit there, or rather, no matter what the unit there is, it doesn't matter because everyone's retreating anyway. So it's pretty much impossible that it could alone hold its position when everyone else is running away. I'm thinking of trying to create better firing angles, so instead of going against specific targets, we want to be able to fire on these areas from the southern sections. This can probably reveal whatever is happening here. Right. It's a retreating unit. Mass casualties. Screw this. Right. No decent targets visible. Retreating Strela team. Whatever we do, we don't want to go there yet. Just want to be in a position to go there. Same with you. Yeah, let's move these guys too. Again, better angles of attack. We have no idea what's still coming our way. And we've created so much smoke here, so angles of attack would be more valuable than anything. Especially if they have retreated a little bit here and there. I might have not moved a couple of tanks, but I don't think that's a big problem. We're close enough that we can react if we need to. So, yeah, not really much of a mission again. This time because we have an overwhelming force. Especially the artillery is something that's pretty much impossible to ignore. It is very good artillery. We have tons of it. So even the moment you sort of reveal yourself, you're just inviting that artillery right on top of your head. No good. It's even if you survive it, you won't be able to maintain your position in it. So it won't work. Ooh. PTR immobilized. That's great for us. If there was someone still holding on there, they're gonna have a tougher time of it now. I'm going to take it easy moving in, so we might be able to spot trouble before we actually walk into it. Right, we're going to just annihilate everything. Even the worthless crew is just as good of a target as far as I'm concerned. goal is to just keep whipping them so their morale can't ever return to proper values anymore. So they're just running for the rest of the mission. This target is retreating, or was retreating, so I wanted to cause it to be routed. Easier for ooh. There's a bunker here. Otherwise I have trouble explaining this huge amount of crew that suddenly popped up here. That's an APC, too dangerous. Might die. Well, didn't die, but we were pretty much worthless. Yeah, the units here have actually fared quite well. Not that it matters too much. I think they're routed now. Okay. A little bit of a setback, but nothing all that dangerous really. Still more minefields. But be careful with the tanks. Enemy squad is routed, so we should be able to just go in here and slaughter them. I think we should pretty much just fire on everything we can. Too far away. Yeah, forget about these guys. Could have used a couple of units to ferry units, sort of drop them there and come back for the others. again, don't really see a point to it. You'd have to have some kind of a decent opposition to expect to bother with something like that. I'm just going to have to go in there and just take a look. Command unit should not be that unit though. Okay, I expected there to be something here. Clearly there isn't. Fibers disperse. Well, what exactly are we gonna do? There's still too much smoke here for a long time for us to be able to really spot anything. Guess we're more or less just holding our ground here. See if any attacks of opportunity come our way. There are RPG teams and things like that there though. We could do quick artillery here. I don't think that's a horrible idea now. We can't really move in there with anything for the moment. And clearly there also are anti-tank forces still operating there. It's not gonna be pretty, but I think it's still a worthwhile target. And then what? Okay. Be relatively devastating. And you are not gonna move your ass anymore. Not sure trooping the infantry here makes any kind of real difference anymore. At the same time, don't really see why we can. Might extend our turns a little bit because we go through more units, but that'll be about it. Oh. Question, what do we want to do with our tanks? Because we're just gonna move in with the infantry. Still have plenty of time, so on that front there's no real urgency. Terrible target to fire at, but we're stuck here, so we might as well fire at something. And that's more or less it. I don't think there are any good targets to fire at. Oh, they have something. I don't expect that. It's a good thing. So they have a surprise force there. Going to make an entrance soon, probably. I mean, if they're not gonna do something now, they're never gonna get to do it. Still, they revealed their hand a little bit too early. Okay. I'm not sure I want to do anything here. We know they're going to come out of there at some point. We might as well let the artillery for another turn. We're not gonna reach that yet. We need someone to suppress that one. And it's suppressed. Not suppressed enough though. I want routed. That's it. Unit destroyed. Remind me about the artillery locations. Yeah, we can go to the first section of blacks, but nowhere near that one. I'm not even too interested in pushing here aggressively. It'll give us, well, at least I think we should though. We need to achieve two things. Put pressure on these and get the tank group in the northern edge of the map to start moving. Probably fire on these guys. Yep. Still, kill is a kill. only one infantry group here, so we won't be missing on anything that comes from the north. We want to leave a machine gun here. Not sure what it possibly do. Even if the northern group would basically have infantry with it, the infantry would not be able to reach anything. Unless it's some kind of an anti-tank missile group, but that's highly improbable. Who we even see? Mainly crew. Retreating infantry squad could get its shit back together, and it's dead. I'm going to basically kill everything I can see. I want to their HQ, and it's gone. Mainly because I want to be in a situation where everything new that we detect is actually a new enemy. We're definitely going south. I'd like to have a little bit of a smoke to cover our ass toward the north. RPG-7 team. Smoke we go. Hello, my friend. Mobilized APC. Srila team inside an APC. Yeah. I mean, if those were anti-tank units of some sort, missile teams, then yeah, I could see I'd be able to do something with them. But you're given units that are pretty much totally incapable of doing anything, even in theory, to aid your cause in this mission. That's a pretty bad hand to deal with. think I'll move into a better angle to try to get there. Don't really care about the infantry itself. Stay here. Might not be able to actually do anything too interesting, but who the hell knows. I'm seeing something. Treating Strela team. Crew. Right, if they're going to do something with their tanks, we're reaching the point where they pretty much have to do something. I wonder if I can even pull back or attack under fire. Definitely want to pull back. We want to be able to fire at different angles to target ships. Hello, my friend. Not sure what to do with these. Ooh, destroy. Yeah, final artillery, and then we're gonna just rush the rest of the flag. Ooh, more tanks. It. Yeah, this is why this sort of a late minute, final minute rush is not gonna work. They're in a terrible position, no matter how you look at it. There are some. Okay, get rid of the smoke. Yeah, some squads still here that can clearly operate. Who the hell even sees that, though? BTR! At point blank range, retreat to the fire. Yeah, that's not a good idea. Still, at least we know it's there. In the smoke, my friend. Okay, we're pretty much just rushing in there. Not like we have a huge amount of choice, though. A handful of turns, enough to deal with a couple of setbacks, but not with a huge amount of setbacks. So if we go in now, or we're gonna run out of time. I'm heading north to see if there are more tanks there. Into the burning buildings. Even if there are surprise APCs here and there, they're not going to be able to deal with this kind of water buckets. I'm inclined to move with the infantry still. Inclined to move with the infantry as long as it seems like a reasonable thing to do. I don't want to move these. There's a good chance there's just a couple of extra tanks rushing toward us. I'm inclined to change my face here. Right, I want an extra one covering the south. I want you to die. Too many tanks are seeing you constantly. Same thing here. Think I want to move at all. We're in a fairly good position here. We're close enough to the flags so we can aid there if necessary. But in case there are further complications with additional enemy troops, we can also move there to offer support. That way we're in a fairly good position. Same thing with the missile tools. I don't really see a reason to move them. I would imagine this turn is when we can end this. I doubt they have more than a couple of tanks in place. Super Dragon. And dead. Oh, I have quite a lot of tanks. Problem is they're right in the open, far away. So yeah, they're exiting the map. I'm curious how many tanks were actually here. That's maybe a similar gathering. Yeah, this is doubly terrible positioning for the tanks because a couple of casualties like this and even the rest will just exit from the map. So you lose them no matter what. I think I'll leave the troops here. Can't even see any enemies anymore. Super Dragon. Maybe these guys just don't want to come out and fight. Well, either way, we can get the flag, so if you don't want to come out and fight, that doesn't really matter. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So, more or less, we're now positioning to counter anything they might be able to throw our way still. And I don't see them being able to throw anything our way still, so yeah, it's pretty much game over, I'd say. Well, if they manage to do something, they're gonna be slaughtered completely. So yeah. I missed something? I don't think so. Yeah, better just end it. Escaping crew! Holy shit, they have a tank still there. Bit too late to do anything with it though, so. Yeah, bit too late. One thou 1,467 versus 126. I'm actually surprised we lost so few men. Usually those are much more equal in losses, no matter how the fight goes. But they lost 20 APCs, 22 tanks, and 12 artillery pieces, 300 men, and we barely lost anything. This is my worry with the remaining US Army versus Iraq missions, is that the Iraqis are basically given no chance to do effectively anything. And US Marine Corps will not have the high quality armor that the Army will have, for example. So it'll be much worse with the Army versus Iraq. On the positive side, I think we can more or less just move forward and crush the enemy. Alternatively, play some kind of a desperate time buying fight to delay or defend the target. I would not want to attack with Iraq. That would be pretty tough because the armor will have enough visibility that even smoke is your best and only chance pretty much, or a city fight to force the engagement to happen at distances where you might have a chance. And even then, they still have a higher accuracy in hitting. So you would need to use decoys to maybe buy you multiple chances to actually fire at a target. So even then it would be tough. Especially when you're given anti-air missile teams instead of anti-tank missile teams. So yeah.